Linux tutorials. Tutorial 5. Each time we launch the terminal application, it creates a new session. The session immediately loads settings and preferences that make up the command line environment. We can configure the environment to support the commands and programs we create. This enables us to customize greetings and command aliases, and create variables to share across commands and programs. We'll begin by learning to use a simple, command line text editor called Nano. In the terminal, type nano space hello.txt. This will open the Nano text editor. In Nano, at the top of the window, type hello, I am Nano between inverted commas. Using the menu at the bottom of the terminal for reference, type Ctrl+O, the letter, not the number, to save the file. This is the letter O, not the number 0. Press Enter when prompted about the file name to write. Then type Ctrl+X to exit Nano. Finally, type clear to clear the terminal window. The command prompt should now be at the top of the window. Nice! You just edited a file in the Nano text editor. How does it work? When you type nano space hello.txt in terminal, it shows. Nano is a command line text editor. It works just like a desktop text editor like TextEdit or Notepad, except that it is accessible from the command line and only accepts keyboard input. The command nano space hello.txt opens a new text file named hello.txt in the Nano text editor. Hello, I am Nano is a text string entered in Nano through the cursor. The menu of keyboard commands at the bottom of the window allow us to save changes to hello.txt and exit Nano. The caret or circumflex stands for the control key. Ctrl+O saves a file. O stands for output. Ctrl+X exits the Nano program. X stands for exit. Ctrl+G opens a help menu. Clear clears the terminal window, moving the command prompt to the top of the screen. Now that you are familiar with editing text in Nano, let's create a file to store environment settings. In the terminal, type nano space ~.bash_profile. This opens up a new file in Nano. In ~.bash_profile, at the top of the file, type echo space welcome, Amit. You can use your name in place of Amit. Type Ctrl+O to save the file. Press Enter to write the file name. Type Ctrl+X to exit. Finally, type clear to clear the terminal window. In the terminal, type source space ~.bash_profile. You should see the greeting you entered. You created a file in Nano called ~bash_profile and added a greeting. How does this work? Nano space ~bash_profile. ~bash_profile is the name of file used to store environment settings. It is commonly called the bash profile. When a session starts, it will load the contents of the bash profile before executing commands. The tilde represents the user's home directory. The dot indicates a hidden file. The name ~bash_profile is important, since this is how the command line recognizes the bash profile. The command nano ~bash_profile opens up ~bash_profile in Nano. The text echo space welcome, Amit creates a greeting in the bash profile, which is saved. It tells the command line to echo the string welcome, Amit when a terminal session begins. The command source space ~bash_profile activates the changes in ~bash_profile for the current session. Instead of closing the terminal and needing to start a new session, source makes the changes available right away in the session we are in. Now that we know what bash profile is, let's continue configuring the environment by adding command aliases. Open ~bash_profile in Nano. In ~bash_profile, beneath the greeting you created, type alias space PD equal pwd. Save the file. Press enter to write the file name. Exit Nano. Clear the terminal window. In the command line, use the source command to activate the changes in the current session. Source space ~bash_profile. Let's try out the alias. Type PD. You should see the same output as you would by typing the pwd command. What happens when you store this alias in ~bash_profile? When you type alias space PD equal pwd in terminal, the alias command allows you to create keyboard shortcuts, or aliases, for commonly used commands. Here alias space PD equal pwd creates the alias PD for the pwd command, which is then saved in the bash profile. Each time you enter PD, the output will be the same as the pwd command. The command source space ~bash_profile makes the alias PD available in the current session. Each time we open up the terminal, we can use the PD alias. Let's practice aliases some more. Open ~bash_profile in Nano. In the bash profile, beneath the previous alias, add Alias HY. Save the file. Press enter to write the file name. Add another alias. Alias LL. Save the file. Press Enter to write the file name. Exit Nano. Clear the terminal window. In the command line, use source to activate the changes to the bash profile for the current session. Let's try out the aliases. In the command line, type HY. Now type LL. What happens when you store the following aliases in ~.bash_profile? Alias space HY equal history. HY is set as alias for the history command in the bash profile. The alias is then made available in the current session through source. By typing HY, the command line outputs a history of commands that were entered in the current session. Alias LL. In above command LL is set as an alias for ls-l and made available in the current session through source. By typing LL, the command line now outputs all contents and directories in long format, including all hidden files. Now that you are familiar with configuring greetings and aliases, let's move on to setting environment variables. Open ~.bash_profile in Nano. In the bash profile, beneath the aliases, on a new line, type export space user equal omit. Feel free to use your own name. Save the file. Press Enter to write the file name. Exit Nano. Finally, clear the terminal. In the command line, use source to activate the changes to the bash profile for the current session. Type echo space $user. This should return the value of the variable that you set. What happens when you store this in ~.bash_profile? Environment variables are variables that can be used across commands and programs and hold information about the environment. The line user equal omit sets the environment variable user to a name omit. Usually the user variable is set to the name of the computer's owner. The line export makes the variable to be available to all child sessions initiated from the session you are in. This is a way to make the variable persist across programs. At the command line, the command echo $user returns the value of the variable. Note that $ is always used when returning a variable's value. Here, the command echo $user returns the name set for the variable. Let's learn a few more environment variables, starting with the variable for the command prompt. Open ~.bash_profile in Nano. On a new line, beneath the last entry, type export ps1 equal greater than. Save the file. Press Enter to write the file name. Exit Nano. Finally, clear the terminal. In the command line, use source to activate the changes in the bash profile for the current shell session. Let's try out the new command prompt. In the terminal type echo space hello. Now type ls space -alt. Did you notice that the prompt has changed? What happens when you store this in ~bash_profile? PS1 is a variable that defines the makeup and style of the command prompt. Export space PS1 equal greater than sets the command prompt variable and exports the variable. Here we change the default command prompt from $ to greater than sign. After using the source command, the command line displays the new command prompt. Let's learn about two more environment variables. In the command line, type echo space $home. This returns the value of the home variable. What happens when you type this command? The home variable is an environment variable that displays the path of the home directory. Here by typing echo space $home, the terminal displays the path as output. You can customize the home variable if needed, but in most cases this is not necessary. In the command line type env. Then type env space pipe space grep space path. What happens when you type this command? The env command stands for environment, and returns a list of the environment variables for the current user. Here, the env command returns a number of variables, including path, pwd, ps1, and home. env space pipe spce grep space path is a command that displays the value of a single environment variable. Here the standard output of env is piped to the grep command. Grep searches for the value of the variable path and outputs it to the terminal. Congratulations! You learned to use the bash profile to configure the environment. What can we generalize so far? The environment refers to the preferences and settings of the current user. The Nano editor is a command line text editor used to configure the environment. ~bash_profile is where environment settings are stored. You can edit this file with Nano. Environment variables are variables that can be used across commands and programs and hold information about the environment. Export space variable equal value sets and exports an environment variable. User is the name of the current user. PS1 is the command prompt. Home is the home directory. It is usually not customized. Path returns a colon-separated list of file paths. It is customized in advanced cases. env returns a list of environment variables. Thank you for watching.